Hi, Paige.
I'm so glad you could make it.
Thank you. I am so glad to be here.
Come on in.
Okay, so where are we?
We're at our little farm in Talent, Oregon, just outside of town. It's a small little farm. We just have a few acres here, and we grow everything in these greenhouses except for our personal veggie garden. So
Your farm is located here at your home.
it is.
That's a great way to have your job be close by.
It's nice. Yeah.
That's great. So where are we headed to right now?
Well, I'm going to take you on a little tour of our greenhouses and show you our microgreens business.
All right. So what's the name of your business?
It's One Leaf Microgreens. We grow a variety of microgreens, and I'll show you what that is. And we sell them to 3 grocery stores in the valley, and usually a slew of restaurants as well, to the chefs at the restaurants.
Oh, wow. That's so lucky. People get to eat well because of you, huh?
Yeah.
And what is a microgreen?
Well, come on in. Let me show you.
Oh, good. I'm so excited. Ooh, where are we going? This is going to be fun. Oh, wow. Oh, and I'm really feeling the blast of humidity in here.
It gets very warm.
Yeah, so show us around. Tell us about this.
Okay, well, these are microgreens, and what that is mostly brassicas, which are cabbages and broccoli and mustards and some herbs, and we grow them in these trays here just until they start to become they're just out of their baby stage. They sprout. We sprout the seeds, and then they grow their cotyledons, which are these little heart-shaped leaves, the little ones right there. And then you'll notice just starts this first leaf, the very first leaf starts to grow, and we cut it right after that happens.
Great, and we'll get to see that process in a little bit of you harvesting.
In traditional farming, things aren't grown in the ground.
But they are grown in soil.
But they are grown in soil, right? So that brings me to, a lot of people call microgreens sprouts. And they're not actually sprouts, because the difference between a microgreen and a sprout is that a sprout is when you sprout a seed with just water, with no soil. So these are actually grown in soil, and that's what makes them a microgreen instead of a sprout.
Because they grow in soil.
Right.
And does that have anything to do with does that affect the nutrition of a microgreen versus a sprout?
It does, because a sprout has the amount of nutrition that comes in the seed, and water wakes up the seed, and in that seed is enough nutrition for that little plant to start growing through its very, very first phase of life. But once the nutrition in the seed is depleted, then the plant starts to take nutrition from the soil and the sun. So the microgreens, since they're grown in soil, they get minerals and vitamins from the soil as well as what comes from just the seed.
Right, and our plants can only be as nutritious as the soil is too, right?
It's true. We use a special greenhouse mix of soil in here. It is it's highly amended and full of lots of really good organic stuff.
Introduce yourselves, please.
I'm Acacia. And I'm Lily.
Thanks for joining us for a little bit. So what are your favorite microgreens here?
I like basil. That's mine. And mine is cilantro.
Yours is cilantro? So we'll have to go find those.
The cilantro.
So you might notice on the cilantro, it doesn't have the same little heart-shaped leaf cotyledon that some of the other microgreens have. It looks a little more like a grass. So I can just pinch one off.
Yeah, you could just pinch a couple of them off.
Okay. Yeah, tastes just like cilantro. Oh, they're really good. I can see why.
I know. How do you think that does it taste mild? Or?
Yeah, I think that's mild.
Yeah. Yeah, this is like my second favorite. I really like these.
How come?
Because they're like, I don't know, they're just super good.
Just like eating a snap pea.
I know.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, these are great. Do you just eat these as snacks?
Yeah, I like eating them just on dinner. Sometimes I just like just eating those plain instead of with a salad because they're really good.
Yeah, I can see why. That's
and I like these ones with my salad.
Mm-hmm. And do you have like a certain dressing you like to have with your pea shoots?
Probably Caesar.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Favorite.
All right, I'm gonna have to try that. That's great. Hey Paige, so now where are we now? What is this whole
Yeah.
structure?
Karen, this is our germination chamber. It's a pretty basic system where we sow the seeds and then we put them in here on these trays, and we have a little heater over here, and we have our plastic, so it's kind of like a greenhouse within a greenhouse.
Oh.
We put the seeds in and the trays, and then we put the plastic down, and that ensures that we have enough heat and moisture at all times in order for the seeds to really start to germinate.
That makes a lot of sense. And so it encloses all that water that's coming off of the trays of soil as well, right?
Yeah, it stays
And
really
so it's-
humid in here,
yeah.
even in the dry summer.
And then do you have different phases going on in here? I see some really tiny sprouts. I see some bigger sprouts. What's
Yep.
going on?
So most of these seeds were sown about 4 days ago. It's a little slower process in the winter. But so yeah, like here's some purple cabbage. You want to hold this one?
Yeah.
And here's another tray of purple cabbage, and you can kind of see like these
Oh, wow.
seeds were sown about 4 days ago, but these are actually almost a week. And in the winter, I like to keep them in and let them get nice and tall before I bring them out. So here you can get a really good look at what these little babies look like. These are just germinated. These were sown about 4 days ago. And we've got cabbage and arugula. Right when they're about a ½ inch tall is when we like to bring them out so they don't get too leggy, because if they reach for the sun and get too leggy, then they'll fall over when they get watered.
Great. This is really cool to see. So Paige, in order for you to have all those seeds to germinate in your germination chamber, you need to sow the seeds, right?
That's right. And you know, since it's a commercial operation, it's more of we do like a production line. It's not just maybe one tray like you might have in your kitchen.
Okay. So you mean a production line, you'd fill all these with soil?
We fill them all and we actually stack it up. Like it's like 10 trays high on this table when we're all ready to start sprinkling seeds. And smoothing out the dirt so that I can sow seeds for microgreens. So this is radish seed. And it takes 2 tablespoons per tray. And you just want to even out the covering of the seed. Because if they get too close, they won't grow as well.
So here you are harvesting, Paige.
Yep. So as soon as the greens are large enough, we cut them. I do it by hand with scissors. I cut everything like this. You can use electric trimmers, but this is what works best for us. So I harvest them, and then we take them to the processing room to wash them and bag them.
Oh, great. So on a typical day, how many trays are you harvesting?
Well, gosh, it's more in the winter because we have to grow more to get the same amount in the winter as we do in the summer, because everything just grows so crazy in the summer. Because there's more sunlight mostly. But I will cut almost 100 trays today. Okay, Karen, now I'll take you to our washroom so you can see what happens after we harvest the greens.
Perfect.
So this is our washroom where we process the greens after we harvest them. And it's not happening right now, but if you come back later, you'll get to see Summer washing and drying and bagging up the greens. But I'll show you the room anyway.
Okay, great.
So what happens after we cut, we put our big bags of greens in the fridge. This down here. And then Summer, after Summer sows, she comes here and she washes all the greens in the sink. And then she puts them on tables and turns these fans on and dries them. And then over here they get bagged and labeled and ready to go. And then they go back in the fridge for the night. And the next day I pack them up in coolers and take them out to the grocery stores and the restaurants. And that's the whole process.
Thank you so much.
Okay, everyone, thanks for coming. It was great to have you at the farm. I hope you learned something about microgreens.
We definitely learned a lot. Thank you so much, Paige.
Yeah. Have fun growing your kits too.